on your morning rock. I hope you guys are off to a great start. I'm thrilled to have a special guest in the studio with me. I've got Drake from OddFellas. Man, how are you this morning?
Doing well.
Man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. It's been a long time.
It has been. Man, we were talking a little bit pre-interview. COVID screwed everything up.
Basically, yeah.
It kind of put everything on hold. You guys were rocking and rolling. You guys were traveling everywhere. You were hitting some big markets, some big tours.
Yeah.
You were doing some festival stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys really kind of became road dogs there for a little bit. With the schedule that you were keeping, before we get into some of the new stuff and the big show that's coming up on Friday night, May 26th, you guys do some great riding in OddFellas. Do you do your best riding when you're out there touring, or do your best riding when you're back home, kind of sitting there with your thoughts?
Yeah, my riding has always been at home, kind of by myself whenever I'm all emotional and stuff. I've never actually ridden while I'm on the road. You know, I've tried to do it in the van, but it doesn't really work out that way. So I get in my environment and kind of lay it down and bring it to the band. You know.
I mean, everybody's kind of got I'm not going to use the word safe space, but your creative space.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got to get it vibey in my room, turn the glow lights on and chill out, maybe have a few drinks or something and lay it down. You know?
Well, and you have the extra, I don't know if a lot of people, you started out as a drummer.
I did, yeah.
You started out as a drummer, guitar player, singer, songwriter. I mean, you're a bass player in Ghosts of Gray County. Is there an instrument you don't play?
Piano. Piano's the only one that I can't, or that I've never tried to do. So.
Is that on the hit list? Is that something?
Oh, yeah, it'll have to be if I want to grow in my career, you know what I mean?
Man, I'll tell you what.
I've been trying to get into producing for bands. And
did I see online that you have kind of a studio thing going on up there in Pampa?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your studio.
So I've actually got a pretty well job now to where I'm able to afford the equipment that I need, not being on the road and starving to death. But
that's kind of the give and take, right?
Yeah,
because when you guys are out touring, you're kind of scraping by, and but it is kind of hard holding down like what we would consider traditional jobs.
Yeah. So the reason that I built my own studio is because we go to studios, and I've always just thought to myself, I would like to just have this stuff to be able to do it at home. And it's something that I eventually want to do with my career as a musician, is produce and track bands, you know. So I slowly bought all the equipment that I needed to buy, and it's finally coming to a point to where I can record a full band, and I'm getting better at the production side and getting to know the computer and all the equipment, you know. So.
It's kind of interesting. If you were talking 10 years ago, and you were going to say, I'm going to do a home studio, you'd be looking at the outlay of tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
The prices on a lot of this gear with these, with all the technology that's packed into these packages, that's actually kind of a little bit more accessible now, right?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing the technology that we have and what we're able to do on our own. You know, it's still a huge process of learning and going down rabbit holes of YouTube videos. It's probably not the best way to learn, but
YouTube University, baby.
It's a learning process for sure, and it's fun to do by yourself, I guess. And
are you starting to pull the sounds out of your studio that you're looking for?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Slowly but surely, and OddFellas hasn't been active for around 2 years. You know, we've had a few shows here and there, but that's the reason I needed to do that. I needed to have that kind of outlet of being creative still, and it's helped me a lot to kind of chill out and take a break from being on the road, and learned a lot from mistakes with life in general and writing, you know what I mean? It's changed my whole writing process, being able to have the recording equipment at home, and I did everything myself, and now I'm at a point to where I want to help other bands out.
You told me we were talking a little bit about Help, and Help is one of those. I listened to it the first time. I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Listened to it the second time, I liked it more because I found more in it, and then the third time more and more and more, and it's become one of.
Up on you.
Well, it's one of those songs that you start to, the more you listen to it, the more you really start to, I don't know if we evolve with the song or what, but you kind of shocked me a little bit, because that seems like OddFellas is, your writing's always been great. I've always loved the production on the stuff that you guys do. But this seemed almost like a leap forward. And then you said, "Oh, we wrote that song like 3 years ago."
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty incredible to me. Is this something that you had written and then kind of reworked a little bit and kind of? I mean, do songs like sit in the fridge for a while and take on a life of their own over time?
So this is actually one of the songs that we all sat in the room and we created it together from scratch. We're going through a pretty tough time. That was actually at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was nuts. We were in a, kind of a shocked mind statement and just going through a lot of stuff, and we didn't have any shows booked up, and we wanted to stay productive, and we were kind of forcing ourselves to work. It was, not really healthy for us, but that's what kind of mindset we were in, kind of depression. And I came to the house one day and I was just doing that. Mason loved it, and we just started writing lyrics right off the bat, and we pretty much got the foundation of that song done within an hour or two. It's just one of those songs that seemed like it was meant to be, and it just came naturally. And we didn't really change it that much after we wrote it that day.
Really?
Just a few little things. Once we got in the studio and we recorded it and did a little production on it, just the little ear candy stuff changed, and maybe the structure changed just a little bit, but that was a song that just hit, you know what I mean? It's like it was meant to be. And that's one of the first songs that I didn't write and then bring to the band,
You kind of wrote it together.
Yeah. And it was cool.
Yeah, no. Drake, can you hang out for a few minutes?
Yeah.
We're going to hit some commercials real quick. We're going to come back out of the commercials. We're going to play that new song. If you haven't checked it out, it's called Help. We've got Drake from OddFellas in the studios, and we'll be back right after this. Attention.